Today we have a really special discussion about a documentary that aired on Stars last year, and it's called Out of Omaha. And I'm just gonna read from the synopsis. It's a story of twin brothers, Darcel and Darrell Trotter, two young black men coming of age in the Midwestern city of Omaha. And we're gonna be speaking to Darrell and another cast member. But first, I just wanna show you a little bit of the trailer.
Growing up in Omaha, you think it's a cornfield? Nah, this ain't no cornfield, man.
Gang and drugs are generational, and sometimes they're hereditary. It is expected for some kids to pick up a gun. It's expected by the family, it's expected by the community, it's expected by the police.
Looking for peace in America, looking for peace when I stare at you, looking for peace in America.
Like they say, you end up wind up dead around this or in jail, man.
Oh.
That was a little bit of Out of Omaha, and now we're joined by one of those brothers, Darcel Trotter, and a cast member, Wayne Brown. Hello to you both.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hello.
Congratulations on this documentary.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Obviously we saw a little bit of it there, but Darcel, and Wayne, right? Tell me about Omaha. I think it's a city not a lot of folks know about, and what we do know, we imagine to be very white, right? And you address some of that there in the trailer, but just tell me what Omaha's like, and especially what it's like when you're black.
Just for like a brief summary, how Omaha is. It's pretty segregated. It's you have North Omaha, which is predominantly African American. You have South Omaha, which is predominantly Latino, and then you have West Omaha, which is predominantly Caucasian, and more of the where Fortune 500 companies is and everything like that. And yeah, pretty much I lived down North Omaha predominantly all my life growing up, and the documentary kind of shows my experiences with that.
Right. And the doc follows you for 8 years. How, like, just as a person, as a kid living your life, how was that to have filmmakers be like, hey, can we film you for 8 years? How did they approach you? What was your response?
Pretty much the encounter happened with my producer, Ryan Johnston, who's from Nebraska. He's a Nebraska native. The director, Clay Twill. And then later on, I ended up meeting Tim Grant, one of the other producers. And it pretty much started from a foundation program I was in high school. And they were doing some promotional work for the foundation. And we pretty much linked up and just kind of had that chemistry right off the gate. And it just kind of just led to them wanting me to kind of show them around Omaha and just kind of be myself and just everyday routine of what I normally would do and just trying to make it and get to the next level and everything like that. And it pretty much led to just, them following me around. And over the years, we just kind of stayed intact and kept it going.
That's great. That's incredible. And so Wayne, you're also from Omaha, is that correct?
That's correct, born and raised, yes.
Wonderful, yeah, so I know this documentary really talks about and busts that myth about lifting yourself up by your bootstraps and that idea. So talk to me a little bit about what that means, especially being in the African American community in Omaha, and how that does or doesn't fit with some of those myths that we have about the economy and the criminal justice system in this country.
We know there's a history of systemic racism in this country, and just like Omaha and around the rest of the country, with housing policy, criminal justice policy, economic policy, education policy, all these things help isolate a community with white flight and disinvestment. And so what you see is struggles in Omaha like you would see in any other city around the country.
Right. Do you feel like it's more acute to just take a city like Omaha? As Darcel, you were saying, it's so segregated. Do you feel like it's a city issues that many cities in the country face, but just kind of more acute there?
Yeah, I really believe that there is other cities, obviously not just Omaha, that has those different boundary barriers and everything like that. And I think you just kind of get used to it, and it be normalized to the point where you don't even realize it. But looking out, you're like, whoa, it really is segregated, because you definitely don't really see too many other different people from different communities, we don't really interact too much like that. Not really on a regular basis to kind of understand each other.
Right. And it busts that myth of lifting yourself up by your bootstraps and you coming of age, this documentary documenting all of that and everything you went through. You have explicit experience specifically with the criminal justice system. The film basically shows multiple instances where you were falsely accused of crimes and the media kind of ran with those accusations and assumed you were guilty. What was that like?
It was definitely humiliating, especially when you know you're innocent and people don't even give you a chance. They just kind of like presume that. I don't know what it is with America's media, but we have this scenario where we just kind of like don't even check the facts or anything and just kind of put a narrative out there and just kind of have this you're guilty before you're innocent type of persona, which it's definitely against our, violates our, constitutional rights, I feel like. And it just, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. You know what I mean? And it just kind of gets to the point where it's like, okay, where do we draw the line and not compromise where, media began first, from the, beginning point of it, where it was to put the truth out there to the people. So just kind of, for me, it's just kind of like I guess a bittersweet type of relationship with the media so far, and I'm just grateful to be able to interact with some of the recent media where they kind of like helping shed light upon my scenario and my trials and tribulations, and kind of helping me kind of reestablish and refix my image and everything that was kind of tarnished and ruined.
Yeah, like taking back your own narrative, as they say, and in such a big way. I mean, one of the executive producer on this documentary is J. Cole. How did that feel to have J. Cole back this project, to obviously meet him? What was that like for you?
It was a surreal feeling. My producers and them were pretty much aware of J. Cole always being a longtime hero and influence for me, and just everything he stood for always resonated with me, as far as like using his voice to kind of shed light upon different issues and what you go through, and just kind of setting just kind of like letting it be known that you don't have to fall in with anybody, or pretty much just condense yourself to whatever they want you to fall in line in. And for me, that really hit home for me, and it gave me hope through everything I was going through, trying to survive in poverty. And, having a single mother that had to work full time, where I was raised, pretty much me and my twin brother raising my two younger sisters, and had a lot of responsibility at a young age. And just not having the resources to try to get afloat, but just, doing everything we can and just making do with what we had. And, people like Wayne Brown that came into my life, as a teenager, and it really helped shape the man that I am today and made me the businessman that I am today. And J. Cole is just the most down-to-earth person. I've met a lot of different people in the industry, a lot of different political figures, and he's one of the most genuine men. He's really the most genuine person I've met so far, and everything that he says, he does. He comes off just like he comes off in his music, and he's really a real deep thinker, and he really genuinely cares. And it felt good to know that, like, man, somebody else out there, my story touched him, and he had a parent who dealt with addiction and drugs and everything too. So it just kind of was like, for him to been able to relate to me, and obviously they get millions of people, who probably sends them film and everything, and for them to have, saw my film and it touched them, it was just like, wow, that's awesome. And I'm just totally grateful for Dreamville and Scott Laser, the creative director over there, and them just using their platform to help me bring awareness to what's going on in my city. And hopefully I've definitely been seeing more people kind of being aware of everything and trying to come together.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. What's the reaction in Omaha been, in that segregated city where I assume there might not be a lot of interaction between like the Black, Latino, and white communities? What's been the reaction, Wayne or Darcel, either of you?
It's been incredible. So if I'm walking through the neighborhood, it's like, Wayne, how you doing?
Nice.
I'm working in the corporate space. It's like, hey, I saw your film. So, it's an incredible dichotomy of both sides of the community. So.
Right. Come on, those are the people you need. Yes, show this at work in your office.
That's right.
But actually, folks can watch this right now. It aired on Stars, but it's available on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Fandango, which I didn't know was a thing. But that's awesome. What else are you guys up to? Darcel, what's next for you? And same to Wayne.
I've been making my introduction into acting. I just have finished a play here at the theater, Omaha Community Playhouse, called A Raisin in the Sun, which is a real iconic play. And it actually kind of was perfect for me versus, pretty much off of just what my whole upbringing and introduction been into film. So the play was based upon a Black family in the 1950s and the experiences of them trying to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, and that's pretty much what I was doing for the last 4 months was just heavy, excruciating acting and everything, and just getting into that headspace to embody the character. And me and my brother, we still currently have a business. We have a construction business, and then we also have an apparel store that we opened up, and we have a clothing line called Hustle 365.
Nice. So not busy at all. Just normal stuff. That's incredible. Congratulations. And Wayne, anything else you want to plug?
I'm just continuing to work here in Omaha, work with young people and working on those systemic issues that affect not just Omaha, but around the country. Yeah. And working on a new project that really focuses in on social capital and building people up from where they currently are, trying to get to that next level.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wayne Brown and Darcel Trotter from the documentary Out of Omaha. Watch it and yes, keep in touch with them and follow their stories. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you guys so much.
All right.
Awesome.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.